Welcome to the Space for Grace podcast, a place where you can come as you are, hear genuine conversations about women's holistic health, and leave educated, inspired, and encouraged about your health and fitness journey. Get ready to find freedom to flourish in your physical, mental, and spiritual health. I'm your host, MK, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Space for Grace. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the Space for Grace podcast. I'm MK, your host, and I'm so excited you're here. Today, we're just going to chat for a little while, a little bit more of an informal conversation, if that's okay. And let me know if you like these kind of episodes. I do have a little bit of a plan. We're going to talk about morning routines. We're going to talk a little bit about PCOS because it's PCOS Awareness Month. But first, I did want to update you guys on a couple things going on. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify and you can see the video, I did go to the beach this past weekend for Labor Day weekend with my mom and get a little sunburnt on my nose especially. So that's what that is. I don't have a weird skin thing going on other than a sunburn. And it was just the best weekend. It was so refreshing. I hadn't had a relaxing vacation like that in a long time. So very thankful, very blessed to have gotten to do that with her. And I feel so much better going into fall. We are now officially in the Burr months, as they call it, September, October, November, December. Fall is my favorite season. I don't know about you guys, but I love the cooler weather, like 60s, 70s, where you can wear like a sweatshirt and shorts. That is, in my opinion, the best. And it was so funny going to the beach and it being like hot and sunny. And then I came back to Tennessee and like a bunch of leaves had fallen and started changing color already. And it was like 60 degrees in the morning. It was so weird. I was like, did we skip September and go straight to October? Because this seems like it happened all of a sudden. It's crazy. But fall is so much fun. So hopefully we have a nice long fall this year and soak it up. Okay, so it's a TikTok trend right now to say like an update on something that you're loving, something you're obsessed with, like a product you recommend, all this different stuff, something you're watching or reading. I don't know. It's complicated. So I'm not going to do all of that. But I did want to tell you guys some of the new things that I've been doing lately that I'm really enjoying as part of my routine. Ever since Brett and I moved back to Tennessee, we've been struggling pretty bad health-wise with our immune systems and just getting sick like every other couple weeks, it seems like. And we just feel like we've been catching a lot of really weird, random things. And obviously that's not fun. And it got to a point where it was just affecting my mental health. And I had some freaky skin things happening. I had staph infection. And then the last thing that happened was I had a cystic acne breakout. And I really don't get acne very often. Thankfully, that's one of the PCOS symptoms that I really didn't have as a teenager that bad, or even the last 7 years since my diagnosis. That was the one symptom that really wasn't that bad for me. I may get a pimple or 2 or 3 like during my luteal phase right before my period, just from some hormones being a little off or whatever. But other than that, it's never been bad. And then 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started just having these painful, like red under the skin zits happening, and it just kept getting worse and it was spreading. I was really trying not to touch my face or pop anything, and it was just horrible. And I feel so bad for anyone who struggles with that because it really affected my self-esteem and my desire to go out without makeup on. Like, it was really difficult, and I didn't know why it was happening because I didn't seem to have changed anything, like changed any products or any part of my routine really. And so I freaked out a little bit at that point, and I was like, okay, Brett, we have got to do something about this. Like, our immune systems have been bad. Things keep happening health-wise to both of us ever since we moved back to Tennessee. Like, we need to just get on top of this, get ahead of this, figure it out. So, two of the bigger purchases that we made, just to help our health and our immune system and all of that, was we got a Berkey water filter. We had been using Brita's, and we also had the Pure brand, PUR, water filters that attached to our faucets in our house back in Colombia. But now that we're renting an apartment, those won't attach to the faucets that we have here. So we had just been using the Brita, and it really is not a great filter. It doesn't get out a lot of heavy metals and pesticides and things like that. And so we invested in a really good Berkey water filter. We got the imperial size, maybe. I don't know. It's about a 3-gallon one. And we only have to fill it up every 3 days, probably, which is really, really nice. And you can tell, like, it's really working. It's filtering out a lot of bad stuff. And so that was a little bit pricey, but it's an investment that's going to last us a really long time. And you drink water every day. Like, water is a necessity of life. So it's important to prioritize clean water and what you're putting in your body every day. The other big investment that we recently made in our health was going back to the chiropractor. We both had been getting adjusted at least once a week while we were in South Carolina because we were both working at chiropractor offices. And so we got care for free, which was really nice, really amazing perk of working at the chiropractic office. And then we moved and we just got busy, and I went full time on my business. And so our budget has been tighter. So we just didn't prioritize that when we first moved. And I think that definitely played a role in our immune system because chiropractic adjustments remove the interference of your nervous system and your nerves out to your body. And so that can affect really all sorts of different organs and functions of your body if you have any interference in your nerves and your nervous system. So, and when I'd been getting adjusted in Colombia, I really was not getting sick. Like, there were a couple times I was kind of fighting off a little cold, but it never got to the point where I had gotten fully sick. And so I noticed how my immune system was really good when I was getting adjusted. So anyways, we both found a great chiropractor. It's another Max Living chiropractor here in Brentwood. Dr. D, she's amazing. And we both got our new x-rays done, and both of our spines just looked so bad and had gotten worse. And because you're supposed to have like a 40 to 45 degree curve in your neck and then in your low back as well. And my neck had a reverse -7 curve, which is really bad because then the vertebrae can start to degenerate. And you really don't want degeneration in your spine, especially as a young person in their 20s. And so that was bad. And then my low back was basically straight. My hips are not even. And I have, just a little scoliosis going on. So lots of things going on. Brett's spine wasn't great either. So we made the investment in our health because we want to, prevent having symptoms and being sick down the line in the future. We want to be healthy when we're older. And so we spent money on our 6-month corrective. It's kind of corrective care at the beginning and then what they call maintenance care after that. So we're both going like twice a week to the chiropractor for 6 weeks, and then they're going to drop us down to once a week to maintain the progress that we've made. And they also gave us exercises, kind of like, physical therapy, like rehab exercises you would do at home, but it's for your spine. You can kind of think about chiropractic care the same way you would think about taking care of your teeth and getting braces. So corrective care for your spine is basically like having braces for your teeth and fixing, where all your teeth are at. And then after you get your braces off, you want to wear a retainer so that you maintain the progress that you made when you had braces on. So it's the same thing with taking care of your spine and your nervous system. You get more adjustments at the beginning if your spine's really messed up to fix those subluxations, is what they call it, when the spine isn't where it's supposed to be. And then once you get it to a healthy, good place, you just maintain that progress that you've made, if that makes sense. So those are the two big things we did, was chiropractic and getting the really good water filter. And then there's some fun new little things I've added to my routine that are going to help me with my skin and supporting my liver, because oftentimes when our skin is having issues like acne, it can be a sign that our body and specifically our liver are overburdened with toxins. And because the liver is overburdened and not able to process all of it and get all those toxins out, it's basically trying to come out through our skin and get the toxins out in our skin. So I added in some things that would help getting toxins out of my body so that my liver can handle the toxic load and get everything out. Obviously, I use non-toxic products on our skin, makeup, deodorant, toothpaste. We even use non-toxic laundry detergent, soaps, cleaning products. All of that is non-toxic, but sometimes you just can't help being exposed to things out in the world. There's plastic and xenoestrogens and pesticides everywhere. Fragrances, like other people, wearing strong perfume, like it's just everywhere. And so those toxins can get in our body, and then our liver is going to prioritize metabolizing those toxins and getting those toxins out rather than prioritizing metabolizing estrogen or other hormones that should be getting out of the body, but then they get reintroduced back into the body because the liver had to prioritize getting other things out, other toxins out. So another thing I did was limit caffeine and completely cut out all alcohol. And I was like, I'm only going to have like one coffee a day and absolutely zero alcohol until my skin clears up. And I drank a ton of tea as well. Specifically, I drank green tea and spearmint tea. Spearmint tea, I was drinking like 2 or 3 times a day, also because I had a sore throat going on at this point. But spearmint tea, if you have it like twice a day, it's really, really good for PCOS if you have elevated androgens. And if you have elevated androgens like testosterone, which is common in PCOS, that can cause the acne that is common in PCOS. And so I didn't know if I had elevated androgens or not at this point. I had done a Dutch test back in the winter of last year, and my androgens were not elevated in that Dutch test, but who knows if something caused them to get elevated. And so I was drinking lots of tea, lots of water, limited caffeine, no alcohol, and continuing to just prioritize whole nutrient-dense foods, not eating a lot of sugar, not eating ultra-processed foods. That is, the typical nutrition advice for if you do have acne, is to avoid triggers like sugar and things like that. So yeah, and then other things I started doing, I am tongue scraping morning and night for getting the bacteria out of my mouth, and that's been a fun little addition to my routine. I'm also dry brushing, which is super fun. I was doing it every day. Now I'm doing it like every other day, but I want it to be part of my nighttime routine every day. And dry brushing is where you just get a little dry brush, is what it's called, and you are basically brushing your skin, and you start from your feet, and if you're doing your legs, you start at your feet and brush up towards your heart. So you're always brushing towards your heart. Same thing on your arms. You start like at your hands and then brush up towards your shoulder. And this just helps move the lymph along in your body and get the lymph flowing so that it can also move and detox your body and get things out of your body. So dry brushing has been really fun. I was also using my gua sha more on my face as part of my routine. And then the other part is stress. Stress could cause acne and the symptoms that I've been having, like a lower immune system. And I know that my cortisol when I did my Dutch test was not great. It was like under the range that it's supposed to be in when I first woke up. And then within like the first hour of being awake, it would spike, and it spiked above where it should have been, like above the normal range. And then it declined the rest of the day, and it had another small spike before bed, which is pretty common in PCOS. If you have trouble falling asleep, like you're wired and tired at night, it can be because your cortisol is a little bit upside down, where, it is supposed to be a little bit higher in the morning to first wake you up and get you out of bed. But if you have PCOS, you might wake up really tired, really fatigued from too low cortisol. And then if you have trouble falling asleep at night with PCOS, it could be because your cortisol is a little bit too high, and it should be winding down to get you ready for sleep during the night. So doing nervous system regulation exercises, which I want to do a whole episode on in the future, just how to regulate your nervous system. But prioritizing that for stress was another piece that I was mindful of the last month. And so here is my new morning routine that I've been doing for the last few weeks. And I don't do it perfectly in this order every morning, but I try to just do each of these things at some point during my morning. So ideally, it would be get up at 6:30, wash my face, put on skincare, tongue scrape, brush my teeth, put in my contacts, and put deodorant on. And then immediately first thing in the morning, drink a glass of water with a pinch of salt in it for electrolytes, and also a little bit of lemon or lime juice for electrolytes. And that has been a game changer. I'm really enjoying that drink first thing in the morning. And also, like when you have water and food and delay caffeine until like an hour and a half after you wake up, that can help your brain to wake up naturally before the caffeine tries to basically do it for you. Okay, so I would get ready, grab my water, and then go outside. And this is the like ultimate habit stacking hack, is this that I'm about to tell you right here. So you grab your glass of water, you go outside, you're getting your morning sunlight, you're gonna slip your shoes off and put your feet on the bare ground, bare dirt or grass or whatever you have for grounding. You're gonna stand there, drink your water, get the morning sunlight on your face, and then you're going to do your breath work. So I just like to do 4 rounds of either box breathing or 4-7-8 breathing. And then I just take a second to practice gratitude, and I'll say, 3 or so things that I'm thankful for that day, just to set my mindset right for the day. And then I'll say a little prayer at that point. And so that's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things: sunlight, breath work, grounding, gratitude, prayer. Oh, at 6 if you count drinking your water. So that's doing 6 little micro habits at once. I think that's the coolest, like ultimate habit stack ever for your morning routine. Okay, and then obviously we've got to eat a good high protein breakfast. So I'll have my breakfast and take my supplements. So that's a habit stack for me, is breakfast then supplements. And then I'll read a passage of scripture and do my spinal exercises that the chiropractor gave me to do. And about 8:15, definitely by 8:30, I am ready to start work for the day. So that's been my morning routine. And then in the evening, I also do my spinal exercises again, and that's when I'm trying to do my dry brush, my gua sha on my face for inflammation and getting the lymph moving in my face. and then doing body lotion, skincare, teeth, brush teeth and tongue scrape again, take out contacts, all that good stuff. And then one of my favorite little habit stacks for my evening routine that Brett and I have started to do is we will lay on our sleep rolls, which is another spinal exercise for your neck and low back, but they're just little, basically foam rolls that you lay on. We'll lay on those and we'll pray together before bed. And that's like the best way to end our day. It's so sweet. So, that is my current morning and evening routine. I would like to add drinking a cup of tea and reading 10 pages of a book to my evening routine to do before bed. And I also need to get better at doing the dishes before we go to sleep so they don't pile up as much. But I feel like my morning routine is finally like finalized and getting there and getting a lot better. And I'm able to fit more in with that habit stack of doing the grounding and all the things out in the morning sunlight. So feel free to steal or borrow any of those ideas or any of the ideas for the cystic acne and supporting your liver, getting the toxins out of your body. And I've just really been reminded with all of this going on with our immune systems and getting sick and having the acne breakout that symptoms are not the enemy or the problem. They're just our body's check-in engine light. They're our body's only way of telling us that something's going on that is wrong on the inside. And it's the body's way of showing us like, hey, there's something that needs some TLC that needs to be addressed. And then it's cool because then we can figure out what the root cause may be. And instead of just trying to put a band-aid on the symptom, actually working on healing the root cause, and then the symptom will go away. And my face is pretty much all cleared up. I have a couple little scabs on my chin that will hopefully fade and not turn into scars. But my skin is so much better now. I feel like we're getting a lot healthier with, the chiropractic care and everything we're doing. So hopefully we continue to build our immune systems back up. There's a possibility that this apartment may have mold just because it's older and it's been here a while. So there's not really a way of knowing if mold is an issue or not. We're moving in January to a newer apartment that hopefully won't have the possibility of mold. So that's a whole nother thing that could be, causing us to get sick often. But we did have our HVAC cleaned. So that was one good thing to try to keep our air really nice and clean. And we do have an air filter. I've ordered a dehumidifier as well because it does smell a tad bit musty in our closet. So hopefully the dehumidifier helps a lot. And I could also run it in the bathroom after showers to kind of help get the water out so that there's not a possibility of mold forming after showers. But yeah, I've absolutely loved, all of these little micro habit changes that I've made the last month. And, if you have some sort of symptom similar pop up, often it's like the same things that we can do to help fix these different symptoms, eating well and getting your movement in, managing your stress, regulating your nervous system, supporting, your liver and detoxification and limiting the exposure to toxins that your body experiences. That's just so good for everyone overall. Everyone's long-term health and for preventing future illnesses. And so, yeah, that's what we've been doing the last month. That's my new routine. And I've really been loving it. I'm enjoying actually falling in love with these little things to do to take care of my health. Before it kind of felt like a chore, like, oh, I don't really feel like, using my gua sha or tongue scraping or whatever. Like it just takes extra time to do, body lotion or spinal exercises or whatever. But it's I've really actually learned to enjoy it and like take my time in the morning and the evening to do these things for my health that feel good and that are helping support my body. I did want to talk just a second. It is PCOS Awareness Month. I'm going to be posting on my Instagram this month about different little PCOS tidbits, facts, tips, etc. And if you do not follow me on Instagram yet, go ahead and look me up. It's at Madison Kate Coaching. And I would love for you to help me spread awareness about PCOS. There's a statistic, they estimate that 50% of women with PCOS have gone undiagnosed. They're undiagnosed, they don't know what's going on with their bodies, and that's so sad. And it is really hard for women to get a diagnosis, and it shouldn't be. And there should be so much more information and research out there. And thankfully, I do feel like since I was diagnosed 7 years ago, there is a ton more information and a ton more awareness. So I'm just excited to think about where we could be in 7 more years. So let's keep at it. And I just want to spread the hope that there is so much that you can do if you have PCOS or think you have it, and that's just a scary, overwhelming thing, that you can really learn how to thrive with PCOS and not just survive. Like they say, oh, there's no cure, blah, blah, blah. But there are things you can do to live symptom free, reverse your symptoms, heal the root causes. Yes, you may have to, have that modified, healthier lifestyle long term to keep it from coming back. But to me, that's a blessing because it's almost just built-in accountability to take care of yourself. And that I think is going to pay off long term for our health, to just live a holistic preventative lifestyle. It's good for everyone. But if you have PCOS or a chronic illness like that, then, it's more necessary if you want to feel your best. And anyways, I think that's kind of a cool thing to have that accountability to just take care of yourself. So I think I'll end it there. I hope this was a fun, informative, more casual episode of me just kind of talking about real life things I'm going through currently with my health and with my PCOS, things I'm thinking about, things I'm enjoying. Oh, and I'll end it with this. If you need a little fun, wholesome entertainment, I have recently become a YouTube girly. And first, Brett showed me Mr. Beast, and I got into watching a lot of the Mr. Beast videos from the last 3-4 years. But then I found Ryan Trahan, and I love his videos. I've been watching all of them, and they're so just fun and entertaining and wholesome. So if you're looking for something fun like that to watch, check him out on YouTube. And his wife, Haley, is super fun too. And she's actually starting to write her first novel. So that's exciting because I enjoy romance books and she's writing a romance book. But I will leave it at that. I love you, girls. And please, 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 if you are struggling with symptoms or with PCOS or some sort of chronic illness and you just want to feel your best and you need some support, I am getting my health coach certification and I am very holistic minded as a personal trainer. And I just want women to have the support they need to overcome these health challenges and to really be free to flourish. So if you need anything, please reach out to me and I would love to be of service to you. Love you, ladies. Have a good day. Mwah. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Space for Grace podcast. Be sure to check out the description for any links or resources that were mentioned during this episode. And if you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a review. I hope you're leaving today educated, inspired, and ready to flourish. This is Space for Grace.